Deer overpopulation is a major nationwide environmental concern in rural and suburban areas. Due to a lack of natural predators, in this picture we have a family of wolf pups eating a fresh deer kill, lower hunting rates, deforestation, urban sprawl, and successful past conservation efforts, deer populations have exploded. This map shows deer densities throughout the United States. The darker areas where there's more than 30 deer per square mile are areas such as Michigan, Wisconsin, the east coast of the United States, and southern states all the way down to Texas. White-tailed deer are mostly found east of the Rocky Mountains. They are able to survive a variety of habitats, from Florida swamplands to Texan deserts to Maine forests. Male deer are bucks, female deer are does, and baby and young deer are fawns. Deer feed on grasses, herbs, flowers, leaves, and twigs, and consume about 3% of their body weight each day. This means that a 200-pound buck will have to eat 6 to 10 pounds of food every day. At one point in the early 1900s, there were 500,000 white-tailed deer in the United States due to unregulated hunting, putting them at risk for extinction. This number has grown to over 30 million to date. How does deer overpopulation affect us? The most easily recognized way is when you drive down a highway and see roadkill on the side of the road, remains from a deer that hit a car or a truck the night before. According to the National Traffic Highway Safety Administration, on average, 1.4 million Americans every year get into vehicle collisions with deer, with up to $1.5 billion in property damage occurring from deer vehicle collisions. Of these accidents, some even injure or kill the person behind the wheel. It is not uncommon to have your car totaled out from hitting a 200-pound buck at 60 miles per hour that seemingly came out of nowhere. Even aircraft aren't safe. The FAA reports from 1990 to 2012, 1,037 deer were struck by civil aircraft during landing or takeoff. Deer are carriers for ticks, which can carry Lyme disease. In this picture, this doe has a heavy tick infestation, especially around her ears and neck. One deer can carry 600 ticks on their body. This gives ticks the ability to spread throughout a forest very effectively. Pictured is the black-legged deer, which is the most common vector of Lyme disease. Lyme disease is transmitted through tick bites. There is evidence that reducing deer populations can reduce tick populations, in turn, which can reduce the incidence of Lyme disease. Contrary to popular belief, however, deer do not infect ticks with the bacterium that causes Lyme disease. Small rodents carry the Borrelia bacterium that ticks can spread, and then ticks latch onto deer to feed off of their blood. Overgrazing is the biggest environmental problem. Just like livestock can overgraze a prairie and leave it a barren wasteland, deer can overbrowse a forest and reduce its undergrowth. As you can see, this forest only has weeds and grasses, the only plants that can grow fast enough despite deer overbrowsing. The following picture shows a healthy forest with plenty of seedlings and undergrowth to fertilize a forest. Some tree species are so impacted by deer that they would have to be planted to restore their previous amounts. Current deer populations in eastern North America will lead to the extinction of ginseng, a popular medicinal herb, in the next century. Overgrazing by deer can also reduce wildlife diversity. They will eat faster than plants can grow back. Without new saplings and seedlings, we lose habitats for songbirds and other small animals to shelter and nest. This reduces native species by removing habitats that can be out of reach for natural predators. Deer can also show a preference towards eating native plants over invasive plants, which will further place downward pressure on a native plant. The worst part is that this damage is slow and cumulative, meaning that it is often overlooked or chalked up as being natural. Deer overpopulation can be managed through reintroducing natural predators such as wolves and coyotes, along with encouraging hunting. 2 healthy deer can produce as much as 30 fawns within a 7-year period. Doing nothing, as animal rights activists will suggest, will not reduce deer populations fast enough and can lead to disease or starvation in local deer populations. Encouraging hunting is a cost-effective manner to control deer populations, as hunters will do the labor at no cost, along with raising funds for small businesses from hunters buying supplies and taxes through hunting licenses. As shown, this is actually a product of deer. This is venison steak. You can it is very delicious. Extending hunting season, or only allowing for the hunting of antlerless white-tailed deer, meaning does and fawns, are a good way of controlling deer populaces. This map is a map of deer season in the state of New York by the Department of Conservation. As you can see, uh, it is illegal to. There's no deer hunting. It is illegal in within the 5 boroughs of New York City. However, from once you pass Rockland County, uh, you are able to hunt deer from October 1st to December 18th. If the state of New York wants to further control a deer's overpopulation, they can extend out hunting season by 1 or 2 weeks, or they can encourage the trapping and harvesting of antlerless deer. In more suburban areas where it is illegal to hunt, or there's just too many people within the area that it's not safe to do so, sterilization is used. This is most well known. For example, in the city of New York, we manage our deer populations in Staten Island by sterilizing the populace and giving them vasectomies, pretty much. This is, however, expensive and difficult to do so in larger rural areas. Deer populations must be managed in North America to further prevent the loss of biodiversity in forests, economic losses, and to control the spread of Lyme disease.